What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks in the MLB streets. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Again, very relaxed, casual MLB day. We are playing light. We are caring about bankroll management. We're caring about accumulating sample size. We're being smart with our money, not trying to fire too much, especially simultaneously going on with NBA here. Again, MLB, it's going to warm up. We're going to have advantageous spots. I think there's actually a lot of potential advantageous hitting spots on this slate here, despite some of the weather that exists certain places. Again, it's going to start warming up. We're going to start figuring out exactly how this ball is reacting. Tyler Glass now is not having an issue with anything, just mowing down my Twins. It was wild to watch. Not that I'm surprised by anything that we saw there, that's for sure. But anywho, we've got a lot to get to. 14 games in the MLB streets. I also have 8 games in the NBA streets that I'll be breaking down. So check out the NBA Lindy's as well. We are there till the bitter end of this regular season, and it might be bitter as we were working into Sunday. Just wild things happening nonstop ad nauseum. But anyway, BetMGM, we'll talk about it later. Don't forget promo code MASTERS. If you sign up for Odd Chopper down below, you get it for $1 for your first week. Pretty unbelievable deal. So get yourself behind the paywall there. Check out the premium Discord. Check out everything that we have to offer. It'll be good times, that's for sure. But producer Jacob, hi, hello. Let's get to the picks. The things we do in the name of audio, it's flipping cameras and making things work. But you know what? It doesn't matter that I look pretty. It matters that I give you good analysis, and that is what we are here to do today. Starting with my Dodgers taking on the Twins, brought it up in the intro. 14 Ks in 21 outs. Yes, 7 innings pitched there for Mr. Tyler Glass. Now, ridiculous stuff, no doubt about it. Bobby Miller has that kind of ridiculous stuff too. Bring it up nonstop. 43.8% hard hit percentage. He is one of the best pitchers in baseball. I thought he had the velocity, the kind of stuff that, again, if you can keep your arm attached to your body, which has kind of been a problem as we're teaching these kids to have velocity. But he's a 25-year-old from Louisville, I think is how they go about it. That's what my cousins say. They're from Louisville. But anyway, four-seamer, 30% usage. Going 100 on the gun this year. Just ridiculous stuff. 99 is what he's averaging on it. Again, it can get extended if it needs to. And that four-seamer usage, just throwing it by people, has a changeup that I think is a pretty decent pitch here as well. That's kind of stayed pretty flat in terms of its usage. He has a sinker. He has a curveball. He has a slider. Keeps hitters off balance, and he could be a disaster here for my Twins. That is for sure. In fact, wanted to try to find something to be able to take advantage of with the Bobby Miller strikeout props, but they are not up here yet. Maybe because everybody just recognized that, yeah, they're going to strike out so much. The Twins struck out a ton last season. A lot of similar pieces. Anyhow, on the other side of this one, Mr. Paddock, we saw him in San Diego once upon a time. Hard hit is good. Expected slugging bad, doesn't have great strikeout stuff. Not a huge fan of trying to go after these Dodgers. So let's just do the opposite, shall we? I think the run line at -110, just a 70-cent disparity between the money line and this. If we had a Bobby Miller prop available, maybe I would tag that along with the old Dodgers. Oh, Giannis Antetokounmpo going to undergo an MRI on his calf. That seems bad for the Bucks. Oh, different sport, sorry. Dodgers, run line, they get the card started half a unit. You know what's funny? This is probably my favorite spot on the entire slate. And it's just leans because we were waiting on the prop numbers to show up. But the Phillies taking on the Cardinals. Let's start with Aaron Nola because, again, I'm all about building that suspense. Ooh, what could Eric be talking about? What could he possibly be thinking? Well, I'm thinking I want to target some homers. Maybe a lot of them. Also, Ryan Jeffers just went yard. It's ironic. Not against Glass now, of course. But Aaron Nola here, not a great start to his season. 311 expected batting average. We have a couple of outings here for him. This Cardinals team, though, we know that righties, and until it's like 95 and humid, nobody wants to live in St. Louis when it's 95 and humid. We should be just fine here. Backing Aaron Nola here against somebody, somehow. These righties in the St. Louis lineup. Goldschmidt, Arenado, just slow out of the gate. Atlanta and Washington, sorry. He plays for Philly. Those are his first 2 outings here. So we can kind of write off the 6 earned that he allowed there up against the Phillies and just say, as I just said, against the Phillies again. Against the Braves is what it is. Let's get to my favorite spot here on this potential slate, shall we? It is targeting Lance Lynn for all of the home runs and all of the land. First off, you get the 9th inning bump. What do I mean by that? It means that hitters, you get to that top of the 9th, every road team no matter what, you're playing atop of a ninth inning, barring weather. So ninth inning bump. Doesn't always have to go to a bottom of the ninth if the home team's up. Hopefully you understand that. Second part of this, Lance Lynn is godforsaken awful against lefties here in terms of the power. 227 expected ISO in 2023. And right out of the gate this season, friends, what is different? Well, absolutely nothing. Say it again. Yes, Lance Lynn back to his ways. I know your tricks, Dewey. That's a good movie. Lance Lynn, 526 expected slugging, 46.2% hard hit percentage, and get this, a 19.2% barrel percentage. The ironic part is Lance Lynn's always gotten swing and miss, right around 24% K rate the last 2 seasons. He's 37, already a 30% K rate here, but when he gets hit so hard. So generally when I'm utilizing my home run model, I talk a lot about targeting hitters that strike out a lot against pitchers who don't strike out a lot and give up power. Like that can kind of be like square peg, square hole kind of a thing. This is a little bit different where there are some strikeouts available here in this Phillies lineup with some of these power bats, but you get me 2 times through, 3 times, but I doubt it goes 3 times through the lineup. That means he pitched well, but I think Lance Lynn is just the gift that keeps on giving. His existence in Major League Baseball, again, 227x ISO, and I'm actually going to pay attention to the righties too. 182 expected ISO against them last season, so that is some serious power with some launch. We have a responsibility, so I have 3 potential home runs from the Phillies. I'm probably going to be betting at least 2 of the 3. If you want to know which ones, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. Would be happy to let you know. But Schwarber, Harper, Marsh. Schwarber, Harper, Marsh. Remember them. They're the key lefties here. Again, I'm not going to completely write off the righties, that's for sure. But my feeling here is the 63% hard hit that leads the team. Coming from Marsh, surprisingly enough, pretty wild stuff. And then Schwarber, Harper, you know them. That shouldn't be surprising at this point. Up is down, left is right, and I could be backing Yusei Kikuchi in some way, shape, or form here. Let's talk it through. Seattle, Logan Gilbert on the mound going up against the Toronto Blue Jays and friends. Ho, friends. Logan Gilbert, not my favorite guy in the entire universe, but pretty damn good. Just saying, he's going to always be valued in these kind of spots, and I don't know if he should be on the road when you get out of his home ballpark. There are glaring parts to Logan Gilbert's games. The first one just being the hard hit. He's routinely been around 44, 45% hard hit. So far this season, 7.5%. So it hasn't shown up in the box score. Again, I don't care, especially in baseball where you need weeks and months to accumulate sample size to know if is real or not. And then Logan Gilbert, friends, he also gets to pitch in one of the best ballparks when he's at home. When you're on the road here, well, I think Toronto is the rightful favorites. Plus, he's got a lineup that just strikes out all the livelong day on the other side of this one. I think you've noticed that by now. Yeah. The Seattle Mariners, they're going to strike out a ton this season. And that's where I'm looking at Kikuchi, the southpaw here. I think this is somebody that, from a K perspective, I've never questioned that ability. But a 5.63 expected ERA, the launch was going up, the hard hit was going up, the walks were going up, and that was back in 2022. We really didn't pick on him at all last season, even though higher expected ERA than ERA. I know we took a couple of shots here and there, but he was not near the gift that he and Jose Barrios were in 2022 when they were both broken down, battered, beaten by bats. A lot of alliteration there. However, this season, so far, 2 starts, 2.79 ERA, 3.30 expected ERA, so getting a little bit luckier once again, but I like the stuff right now. The curveball is curving. The slider is sliding. Wouldn't you know it? That's important in baseball. So as I was working through his pitch mix, I see the velocity is just fine. I see the swing and miss is already there, 26.2% there in those first 2 outings. I think 8+ is on the table against Seattle. Again, this is going to be one of those teams we do target in terms of Ks. Now, this season, 18.9% K rate and just 74 plate appearances. But as we accumulate sample size, I expect that to look a lot more similar to that right-handed stuff. Again, 318 plate appearances. You face more righties in baseball than lefties. 31.1% K rate against that handedness. So I think Yusei Kikuchi, this could be a sneaky spot. 8+ Ks. I'm looking for a potential. Please don't open at 7.5. That would just be absurd here. But I'm looking at the major plus money, looking to get aggressive. B-E aggressive. I'm not going to spell it. I'll spell Masters though. $1, friends. First week of OS Premium is Masters Week. You want to get that premium betting card. You want to check out, I have a great article over at Stokastic talking throughout the DFS slate, talking about skill sets for the Masters. I've been fortunate enough to go to Augusta National a couple of years now, friends. I got to tell you, definitely gives you a leg up on the competition having been there, seeing exactly what they're dealing with, the kind of shots that might be required of players. Going to do a good job of breaking that down for everybody. Again, it comes down to price and probability at the end of the day. We don't want to make too many inferences. It's a numbers game. It truly is a numbers game. I've heard that that's a show somewhere else. But anyway, $1 first week of OS Premium, friends, using promo code MASTERS. Sign up at that at the link below. Simple as that. Come hang out in the premium Discord. Get that positive EV tool. Back to the picks we go. Arizona, Colorado playing an afternoon game that looks a little bit chilly. Looks like, unless I'm looking at something incorrectly, going to only be topping out around 48, 49 degrees tomorrow. And yet we got 12.5 on the run line, or not on the run line, on the total. Just looking at the run line. Thought that was the fucking big dog. That's Tin Cup. I love Tin Cup. Yeah, Tyler Henry here on the mound for Arizona. I don't really buy into everything that, Tommy Henry. Tommy Henry. Screwing up names today too. I'm very tired. Austin Gomber on the other side for the old Colorado Rockies. I don't really have interest in this one whatsoever. I did write down the under of 12.5 purely because it's a gigantic number. I get it. Tommy Henry, 568 expected slugging. He's horrible. 461 expected slugging for Austin Gomber. He's not exactly good either. Both of these guys north of 12% barrel percentages, but it's chilly enough out there. Again, Colorado, it's not just because of the altitude. It's the dimensions of the ballpark. It is a big ballpark. There are going to be runs, but 12.5, it's a pretty gigantic number here to embrace, knowing that both of these pitchers, probably quick hooks over to the bullpens, barring something unforeseen here, although Miro Kelly, they're getting into it a little bit early here. So we'll be monitoring that one, but not very interested in this game as a whole, which is surprising because Coors Field is just, it's fun. It's pinball for baseball. So we go from like a fantastic hitting environment with no interest on my part to a terrible hitting environment with lots of interest on my part. Now, this is going to be uncomfortable. You have to kind of hold your nose, count to 10, or you don't have to do that. But I'm looking at backing Patrick Corbin. Yeah, go ahead, laugh. I think it's kind of funny too. But, talked about the +1.5 the other day, came to fruition. Nationals, pretty decent little spot. Jordan Hicks has been awesome to start off this season. I'm not going to try to even pick on him in any way, shape, or form. This is a guy that has very, very obvious stuff, very, very obvious talent, very good with velocity, very good as now a stretched out pitcher here so far. 5 innings, 7 innings in those first 2 outings against the Padres in both of those. But I do think you want to be a little bit cautious here. I think this is one of those spots, friends, where Patrick Corbin, as bad as he is, as terrible, no good as he is, this is one of the best pitchers ballparks that you're going to have in all of baseball. In fact, top 3 pretty much year in, year out. Seattle, kind of a surprising number 1 in the last season. But anyway, in my model, there's just no way that I'm not going to be accounting for the fact that on the run line, getting +1.5, that I'm getting less than like an 80-cent difference or just over an 80-cent difference there, 82 cents on the other side of it. And there's an 8 total. And Washington, I do think that there's some sneaky, decent bats there. Now, against lefties, I think it's going to be you really see them not strike out as much as what people think. But as you work over to the righties, I don't think Washington's going to be like the beanbags that they've been in the past, like Joey Gallo might be. But 22.2% K rate through 225 plate appearances, that's 18th in baseball. So if Hicks isn't getting the swing and miss, the easy swing and miss that he's had so far this season, there could be a spot where this game just stays a little bit closer than you think. It just stays a little bit intact. And I think Patrick Corbin, as bad as he is, this is decent value to be getting. It's not great. It's uncomfortable. But Washington +1.5 is on the card for tomorrow here for a half unit. Enjoy that one. Didn't see that coming today, that's for sure. But again, it's just a great ballpark here. And low variance runs, 4-3. I'll take that. Go ahead and lose Washington 4-3. Tampa Bay and Los Angeles. Wouldn't you know it, this who is that just hit a home run? Mike Trout. Mike Trout. Oh, he's pretty good. I've heard of him. He'll probably be playing baseball here as well, going up against Zach Littell. We'll say that's the difficult part actually here because Littell's been pretty darn good to start off the season, just 2 starts, but 213 xWOBA, 255 expected slugging, 26.2% K rate. As my sheet starts updating and accumulating, I start ranking pitchers. He's near the top, 1.78 expected ERA. I would be surprised if that maintained throughout this entire season, but last year, 4.24 expected ERA, 3.2% walk rate. There are good signs. There are nice things that he does. I cannot say the same thing about Jose Soriano. The 25-year-old, he's been on the struggle bus here so far this season. Now, you go back to last season, 2023, you work through some of those outings that he had there with LA. All bullpen. All freaking bullpen. And this has kind of been a theme for this season. There's been a lot of like transferred into starters trying to lengthen out the Michael King approach or whomever it might be. But Jose Soriano, I don't really like the stuff as a starter. He's the primary curveball thrower, sinker thrower. He does have 100 on the gun if he needs it at times. Again, it's not even like it is kind of absurd looking at some of that velocity, but it comes off the bat really, really hard. And so far, 7.14 expected ERA. This is just going to be a struggle. You can't throw it 100 throughout every single inning in baseball unless your arm's going to fall off, or you're just going to miss on your location here. That's something you can do out of the pen for an inning. You can kind of just grip it and rip it and go after it. But it is definitely a confirmed thing to watch these guys try to turn into major league starters and build up their arms. So Soriano, not going to be on the card for me. I will be leaning Tampa Bay as a result here, but on the run line, purely, I don't want to be betting anything here more than likely other than any props that show up. I mean, props could show up at any time. That's what the Posit VV tool is for over at OddsShopper. Again, promo code MASTERS. Dollar to get the best bets on the board tomorrow. Seems pretty good. You know what also seems good? BetMGM. Friends, if you have DraftKings, if you have FanDuel, hell, if you have Bet365 and Caesars, awesome. Those are great sports books, great opportunity to make money, but BetMGM's giving you a first bet safety net up to $1,500 if your first bonus bet, or in bonus bets, that is, if your first bet loses. That's a phenomenal opportunity to take a big swing. And if you miss, you don't really miss because you get it back in bonus bets. So whether it's 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000, whatever you have comfortable for your bankroll, it could be $20. I don't really care. I want you to take advantage of sportsbook offers when they show up. And then I want you betting at those sportsbooks when they have the best price available, whatever the bet shall be, whatever it is. Because again, over any massive sample size like baseball is, you might see 5 cents here or 10 cents there and you neglect it. Don't neglect it. Sign up for BetMGM down at the link below. Help your bankroll, help to sustain it, and also just keep more money in your pocket. Only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we go. Fetty. He's taking them out for these horrendous, very bad, no good Chicago White Sox. I mean, we're going to see the paper bags over the head sooner rather than later, friends. It is getting bleak there in the south side of Chicago. Yeah, I think I got that one right. But Eric Fetty, 580 expected slugging thus far. What's a little bit wild is we have seen some swing and miss stuff, so I kind of dug into it a little bit. It's a facade. It's not real. It's not real at all. The matchups really had more of what to do with that. Kansas City, he had only 4 strikeouts there. And then going up against Detroit, I think that's a team that is going to be feast or famine. That his first start of the season, gave up the 2 bombs there in that one, but 7 strikeouts and 4 2/3. Just a mirage, just a one-start deal. Decent enough weather, good opportunity to go out there. He has a 17.2% barrel percentage. It has not been good. Now, exact opposite here for the Guardians. Off to a fantastic start here in 2024, except for, of course, losing Shane Bieber. I think they'd trade in a couple of those wins to have Bieber on the staff healthy and happy and smiling and doing all of those things. But I will say Tanner Beebe, friends, he's been kind of iffy too. 28.9% K rate is awesome, but the 46.2% hard hit, everything across the board looks a little bit spotty. So this is one of those where I almost feel like guilty saying this because this is absurd, but Cleveland money line. I mean, I could say run line, but I don't agree with having 123-cent difference between the two. It's wider depending on what you're looking at here and what books you're looking at. That shouldn't exist for the run line here. I know that because they truly think the White Sox are incapable of anything. But BB is not some absolute stud here at the moment. Talked about negative regression potentially incoming for him. It's shown up through 2 starts, but again, 2 starts are not going to tell the tale. We'll see if I'm right by the end of the season, but actually don't bet this at all. It's just not a good spot. This is a better spot. Somebody who's been on the card here a lot of lately, the Cubs, Padres, we'll set it up here. Not Kyle Hendricks. He's not been on the card at all. This guy is 100 years old and out there throwing the baseballs, working hard, doing the things the veteran does, like give up barrels and strike out nobody, I suppose. 659 expected slugging, 14% K rate, 12.1% barrel percentage in a couple of starts thus far. Not great, Bob. Not great. Dylan Cease on the other side, 193 expected batting average, 30.2% K rate. Everything that was promised, everything that they had desired, everything looks like the 2022 version in the first two starts. Got to keep him healthy, got to keep him happy, got to keep things going. And, well, fastball 96 right out of the gate. This looks really, really good. This is a great pickup. Obviously, him, Blake Snell, look great together, but Blake Snell up in San Francisco, he don't want that smoke. So that is what it is. Padres fans, are they gonna get their pitcher here this year? I feel like they've been fighting it. We keep fighting it. That's a Ben Folds song. Nobody cares. Cool. Jake Cronenworth, he's been on the card here a lot of late here. 464 xWOBA, 382 expected batting average. But the main thing I keep highlighting, the launch. 11-degree launch with a 648 expected slugging and a 47.5% hard hit percentage. He's going to get after some righties. And why not a soft tossing righty here in his home ballpark? Not great for home runs. Not great. Not fantastic, but everything is an afternoon game tomorrow. So you do increase the temperature ever so slightly. Might be baked into some of the numbers. I mean, we saw Jake Cronenworth north of plus 600 for that bomb the other night. I think you want to be paying close attention to some of these props. I'm going to call it, just for safety's sake, 2+ bases. So we're talking over 1.5 total bases. I just listed it as 2 because it's easier to write and think it looks better down there. But also home run question mark. I want better than plus 600. Don't you start carving it away just because I realized that this guy was due and we get that bomb and now all of a sudden you take it down on us. The betting run value, everything looks awesome across the board. Spray chart too. He's not afraid to go opposite, although all of his power is going to be pull, and that works out nicely with Kyle Hendricks. God, I want to break this down. Give me a pitcher, Milwaukee, you cowards. If you want to know what I think about the Milwaukee pitcher that ends up inevitably showing up here, hit me up on X, again, at Eric Lindquist, just my name. You can wear it out. It's fine. But sometimes one of the interesting things to me is sometimes when you're backing somebody to get strikeouts, they think you're betting on that team. Or sometimes you automatically think, oh, I can't possibly bet a hitter prop. But here's the thing. Positive EV is positive EV. You have a positive bet the moment that you make it or you don't. Things can change. You obviously don't want too much negative correlation going up against each other because obviously if Yelich hits a home run in this spot and Hunter Green mows down a bunch of dudes, well, I mean, that's the nuts for me, but it's unlikely because Yelich, his home run, is somebody that doesn't strike out for Hunter Green. So ever so slight negative leverage, negative correlation. Want to make sure I'm saying the words correctly because words matter, friends. They carry weight. Also carries weight. Hunter Green is a tall, large man, and I love him. He's always been one of my favorites here. Somebody that I've backed pretty routinely over the years now. Well, the years, it's been like 2 of them. He's very, very young, but he is already just strikeout polished. And right out of the gate, 24 years of age, he was the number 2 pick in 2017. Again, 2017 to the mass 7. That's 17, 18 years old. Second pick coming out of Notre Dame. It's a California high school. It's very, very famous. But anyway, 2.47 expected ERA so far this season. So if we can have that with this low hard hit, we could be looking at a completely different picture because the strikeout stuff has always been there, 28.3%. But here's the thing. I don't know if I completely buy that the hard hit has gone away. His first 2 starts, the Mets, we've been watching them play baseball until this Atlanta series. Now they're finding stuff. Or they were. I saw Alonso just 1 yard too. And then the Washington Nationals. That's not going to tell us a whole hell of a lot about Hunter Green taking on power. So here's kind of what I'm thinking. I know that I don't want to get in the habit of doing this too much, but it's not me backing Cincinnati. It's not me backing Milwaukee. It's simply looking at the prop market and saying, you know what? Kind of have 2 outs to go make myself a little bit of money. And I think they're both going to be something I'm interested in. Yelich brought it up again, 12-degree launch angle. If this launch angle continues, we are looking at a completely different home run profile for him this season. 733 expected slugging, 52.2% hard hit percentage. Those numbers have always been high. Like, hi, how are you this fine day? But Cincinnati, friends, I also am going to be looking at Hunter Green. I think 7, 8. I bet this opens around 7.5 if I had to guess. But Milwaukee, not going to be the easiest strikeout matchup for most people here for right-handed pitchers. You got Milwaukee that can roll out their fair share of lefties, and specifically this Yelich character is pretty good. So pay very close attention to how this lineup rolls out for those strikeouts. Another thing you always want to be doing, people, the projected lineup. You can wait and bet once you see what the lineup looks like, because these Wednesday afternoon games, you never really know what you're getting on the tail end of the series here. I think it's a good spot to watch for both of these. Again, Yelich, we want better than that plus 340 number. We definitely got it in Cincinnati, plus 5, whatever it was the other day. It was great. Hunter Green, friends, 7+ Ks. I would move it to 8 if I knew what that lineup was. I got to see it, though, first. 5 games to go. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell as we go to the first of these of the year. What am I talking about? You don't know, because that would be weird if you did. The Miami Marlins taking on the New York Yankees. The Yankees have been good to us this season. I'm kind of very, very curious where this number opens, because there are very few scenarios where I'm not going to bet it. I'll just put it that way. We have Ryan Weathers going up against Marcus Stroman. Said it before, I think Weathers is going to have good strikeout stuff. That's come to fruition, 24.4% K rate here for the Southpaw thus far. But one thing that I know for certain is that these left-on-left matchups get like unnecessary penalized. Like they're getting penalized for them in so many different ways, like Verdugo, but Verdugo, he went yard today, which again, small sample size. He has an 18.9% hard hit percentage. We're not talking about him. But Juan Soto, friends, Juan Soto, this could be a very fantastic investment to get. We could be getting a lot better than plus 300 in one of the most homer-friendly parks in all of baseball. Very short stadium confines. Not good for doubles, not good for total bases in those kind of regards. Again, you always want to be paying very close attention to the prices. But Juan Soto here, so far this season, 57.1% hard hit percentage, 440 expected slugging, 15.4% K rate is fantastic. Walking a bunch. People are scared of him. He's doing the things that he got paid to do, which is be very good at the baseballs. But we're going to pay to get a home run from this man in this ballpark against Ryan Weathers. Now, Marcus Stroman on the other side, just to touch on it, he gets a Miami Marlins matchup, but I'm not going to pay $218 to back Marcus Stroman. You should know that by now about me. But know this, a lean like. There are almost no scenarios where Juan Soto isn't on the cards. You could put that one on the total. Again, if it's like plus 225, I will freak out. That is for sure. I was going to break down some interesting things from the Red Sox perspective, but it all got put on pause because the promised one, the number one prospect in baseball right before we started recording, got called up. His name, friends, Jackson Holliday. Get familiar. This is one of the guys who's been sitting on my dynasty bench. I was very excited, and then all of a sudden, they didn't call him up to start the year, and it was just one of those extremely tilting things. But this Baltimore AAA team has a freaking lineup. Stowers, if you're not watching this Baltimore AAA team, well, that'd be weird if you were watching it and you're like in Nevada or something. But what I'm getting at, Jackson Holliday is the promised one. This guy is going to be outrageous. And you throw him into a lineup with Mountcastle and Henderson and Westberg and Rushman and O'Hearn and Cowser and Mullins and Santander and all of these dudes, it is going to get freaky. Looking at this Baltimore lineup, come summer days, come summertime, going to be great. Now, Cole Irvin, he's not a very good pitcher. I'm not even really going to get into too much here because I don't know who the Boston lineup. Well, I don't know who's going to be on the other side. And Cole Irvin is absolutely god-awful and terrible. He's going to be good in his home ballpark, but this is not that. Green Monster might get a workout, so pay attention to that. But we're going to just go to Jackson Holliday and invest early and often in my boy. 2+ bases, opening day. Bet it opens at like half a... Find some alternates. You can find some alternates. FanDuel.com, anybody? They've had routinely the best numbers at the beginning of this MLB season. Just make sure he's in the damn lineup before you bet it. But Jackson Holliday, welcome to the party, friends. Just you wait. Oh, he is so damn good. Wanted to double check to see if we got a pitcher here. That would have been useful as well from the Braves. But alas, earwax. The Mets, Jose Quintana. The Braves, TBA. To be announced. So we don't know. We're going to be waiting on that one for a while. Probably will be tomorrow morning, afternoon. They are having some issues. Obviously, the Spencer Strider injury has put a little bit of a crux in the old armor. What am I trying to say? I have like this Harry Potter thing going in my head. I almost said crucifix. What was that? The crucibles. What are they?
The Horcruxes.
Horcruxes, producer Jacob. Thank God for him. Horcruxes. You got Nagini dinner. It's basically what you can say for some of these righties in the Braves lineup. Good Lord Almighty, they're going to have some fun against Jose Quintana because Q, friends, he ain't the Q from James Bond. He's not cool. He doesn't make inventions. And at this point in time, he's just not going to be very good at the throwing of the baseball. So it's going to be target ready to go. Jose Quintana, 500 expected slugging through 2 starts. No swing and miss stuff. 12.8% walk rate. Looks awfully similar to last season, which was not good. So, yeah. Land on the run line. Sure, it's going to look great. They're going to let us down. Hopefully it's a bullpen game and we can have some kind of security there because, like, I'm sure this is going to end up on the card and I'm going to hate myself. I hate Quintana. I do not hate the Kansas City Royals lineup here of late. The Houston Astros taking them on. It's 3-3 bottom of the 8th in that one. Nothing really to write home about the game other than just like, I like the way the Kansas City lineup at the top has been situated, and I like the way that the power is starting to show up for all of them. And they get to face off against Hunter Brown, who, again, he was not the promised one. He's just kind of an obscure 5th rounder back in 2019. And overall, he's one of those dudes that had a lot of great stuff coming into the majors. We saw a very limited sample size from it, but it was tantalizing in 2022. Ended up being a fantasy darling coming right out of the gate in 2023. And you know what? Kind of disappointed. 4.27 expected ERA, 5.09 ERA, hard hit, 44.4%. I don't think we're going to find the 26.8% K rate that he had last season. It's down to 20.5 just through the two outings. But like, if you're not getting strikeouts now, the knuckle curve, the cutter, just doesn't look all that good to me. So this could be a below average major league pitcher and somebody that I was just wrong about. I thought he was going to end up finding it, but again, we'll accumulate some more sample size there, and we'll target here in this spot. As for Seth Lugo on the other side, not a major league caliber pitcher. These are pretty efficient numbers as far as like what we're looking at for Seth Lugo and what he's going to be going forward. 14% K rate, 275 expected batting average, 6% walk rate is decent enough, but like you're not going to survive by just not walking dudes. Eventually, you got to get it by him, and it's not going to be great against a Houston lineup that has Alvarez playing at God mode right now. So that's cool. 4 homers, 3 doubles in his last 15 at-bats or something stupid lately. Saw the thing go across the screen as I was watching the game. But anywho, friends, Bobby Witt, 2+ hits. Yeah, you heard me. 2+ hits for the man. He is very, very alive to win all of the things this season. He does strike out a decent amount here so far, 25% K rate, but he does not jip you at the plate. 6.8% walk rate is like not good, but it's good for our purposes. 72.4% hard hit, 836 expected slugging, and the big one, 382 expecting batting average against a pitcher in regression mode. You don't find a lot of value here on the 1.5 total bases here for him. I think the 2+ hits is going to have some nice plus money. I think that's worth a little bit of a sprinkle. We did pretty well in the playoffs with those. Haven't ran one of those out yet this season. I think this is the spot for it. And the last game of the night, Ross Stripling been pitching well. I'm Ron Burgundy, and you ate the whole wheel of cheese? Not even bad. That's impressive. Ross Stripling, he's going to be taking on Cody Bradford, and Cody Bradford's been good too. 222 ex-Woba, 222. 222 said hut. Ross Stripling, 23.1% hard hit, 348 expected slugging. Now, the swing and miss isn't there, so that doesn't matter. But so far, 39 batted ball events and 0 barrels. That is useful. You're probably going to need that against Texas because they're pretty damn good, Ross. And also, it doesn't help that you're going into any ballpark that is in Oakland. It's not ideal for you yet. I like the under here. Again, this is getting a key number of 9. Getting on that under and taking advantage makes some sense here. I think Bradford, the spoiled side, but Oakland, I know Shane Langoliers went double dong, and I don't really care. Again, Oakland, maybe they look a little bit better here than we expected, but I'm not buying into it here thus far. I will accumulate sample size, and you give me 9 against Oakland here with a pitcher so far in Bradford, who doesn't have velocity but can induce the soft contact. Give me a shot on the under here. I feel good about it. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks in the MLB streets. Hit that like button down before. That goes a long way for me. And leave me a comment as well. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Again, tried to speed it up. We got to 35 minutes for 14 games. Again, I want to give you analysis here at the beginning of the season because I think talking about these pitchers, how I view them, talking about these lineups, how I view them, talking about some of the tendencies early on in the season, this is the stuff that's going to make us long-term profitable. These are the things that have made me profitable over my last 7 MLB seasons, betting, DFS, all of the grand things. So if you want to be taking advantage of all that is to offer there, ask me some questions. Nobody asks me questions in Discord anymore. They just want my card. Eric, where's your betting card? Where's your betting card? Sometimes you don't want to bet everything early in the MLB season because it's a long season, friends. Be managing your bankroll. I say that nonstop here, but it is so utmost important here. I want you here for the long haul. I don't want you tuning out because you lost one bet on one lock or something of that nature. And again, no locks again today, purely because lots that's TBD. Want to be giving you more updated information. And then the Discord, you can do that for $1 right now. First week of OS Premium. Just check it out there. No strings attached. Cancel whenever. $1 using promo code MASTERS at the link below. Thank you, producer Jacob. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Wednesday.